The US government just tried to block an AI company, Anthropic, from entering its systems. Not because its models were weak, but because the government labeled it a risk. A federal judge has now temporarily stopped that move. But the bigger question is not just what happened to Anthropic. It's this: who gets to decide which AI companies are safe enough to be used? Because if governments get to define that line, then the AI race is no longer just about building better models. It becomes a race over permission. Here's what happened. The Pentagon labeled Anthropic a supply chain risk, a designation that could block the company's tools from defense-related use. Anthropic sued, and a federal judge temporarily blocked that restriction while the case moves forward. But this story didn't stop there. The US government has already appealed the ruling, which means this is no longer just a temporary legal scuffle. It is becoming a larger fight over how AI policy, military use, and government access will be defined in the future. In reality, it may become a precedent for the whole industry. This is why the real conflict here is bigger than Anthropic versus the Pentagon. The real conflict is over who gets to define risk in AI. Because once you define risk, you control access. And once you control access, you shape the market. A label like this is not just a warning. It can become a gate. It can influence contractors, enterprise buyers, and public institutions, long before any final court ruling arrives. So the question is no longer just whether Anthropic was treated fairly. The deeper question is whether a government can use a risk label to decide who gets into critical systems in the first place. So why is this happening now? Because AI is no longer just software. It is becoming infrastructure. And infrastructure is never fully neutral. Once a technology becomes important enough for defense, intelligence, public systems, and critical operations, institutions stop asking only one question: how good is it? They start asking a different set of questions. Can it be audited? Can it be restricted? Can it be trusted in a crisis? And maybe most importantly, can it be controlled? Anthropic's own public statements make that shift clear. The company said its dispute centered on whether its models could be used for mass domestic surveillance and fully autonomous weapons. And it refused to remove those restrictions. So this is no longer just about one company. Public reporting shows the Pentagon pushed multiple AI firms, including OpenAI, Google, xAI, and Anthropic, toward broader military use terms. That means the pressure here is not isolated, it is systemic. And it helps explain why the industry is starting to split. Some companies move closer to government systems. Others draw harder boundaries. For the last few years, most people have understood the AI race in two layers. First, performance. That is the part most people already understand. Then, deployment. That means who can actually get AI into real products, real workflows, and real institutions. But now a third layer is becoming visible: admissibility. In plain English, that means whether you are allowed in. Not every capable AI company will automatically be treated as an eligible one. That is the real structural shift. It is no longer just about who builds powerful AI. It is about who can enter the systems that matter. So where does this go next? It means AI companies may increasingly face a trade-off. One path is to move closer to government requirements in order to gain access. That is already visible in the market, as some firms move further into defense-related work. The other path is to hold stricter boundaries and accept the risk of exclusion. That is why this is not just a policy dispute, it is a business choice. At the same time, compliance itself starts to become part of the product. Auditability, control, usage, boundaries, and policy alignment may become commercially valuable in the same way benchmark scores once were. That changes what winning in AI looks like. The next winners may not simply be the companies with the smartest models. They may be the companies that powerful institutions believe they can govern. So yes, this case starts with Anthropic, but it points to something much bigger. AI is no longer just competing to be better. It is competing to be allowed. And in the next phase of AI, permission may matter more than performance. That is why this case matters. Not because it tells us which model is smartest, but because it tells us who may get to sit inside the systems that matter most.